Hello friends, we are starting with this basics of sociology. Basics of sociology. See, what is this basics of sociology? This basics of sociology is nothing but 7 classes which I have decided to give to all the students who are in the preparation for sociology optional paper, or and also those who are ready, those who are thinking about selecting sociology as their optional for their UPSC civil services examination for the year 2025. So the basics of sociology is consisting of 7 classes. I told that today is the first class. The objective of today's class is why sociology as an optional. Then the subsequent classes will cover topics like basic terminological issues or basic terminologies of sociology, then family, then religion, political system, social stratification, social change. These are some of the aspects of sociology we'll be teaching you in this basics of sociology. Today is day 1. And the first question which we have to start with is why sociology? So the question is a very, very pertinent, important question. Why sociology? Why sociology? What is sociology? Are some of the very, very fundamental questions you start with when you read this sociology. Why sociology should be talked about? Before that, we should speak about what is sociology. Sociology is nothing but study of society. Sociology is a term which was coined by one named Auguste Comte. You know, Auguste Comte, a French scholar, in 1830s, he coined the term sociology by combining two terms. One is a Latin term called socius, and secondly, a Greek term called logos. Socius in Latin means group or society. Logos in Greek means study of. Study of groups, study of society is what is called as sociology. So this is the first question which you should answer. Before why, the question comes what. So what is sociology? Sociology is study of society. We'll stop here. The further elaboration of this question will be done in the next lecture, because there where we will be starting with the basic concepts or terminologies of sociology and the other social institutions. Now coming to the question called as why sociology? Why sociology? Why sociology in civil services examination? That is a very much known dimension of today's class. Why sociology? Why sociology for civil services examination? You know, civil services examination, the success of it is very much decided by optional paper. Why I am saying so? If you look at the general studies paper, on an average, people will be able to score 400 out of 1000 in general studies. So their marks in GS for many of the students will be not that much variable. So almost they will be on equal footing, almost, not exactly, almost they will be on equal footing when it comes to general studies. Now the make or the break, making or breaking will come from optional paper, because it is optional paper where the students scores range from 190 plus to 320 plus. This much of variations in the scores will be there for students in this optional paper. At one extreme end, they'll be getting 180 plus 190 plus. And this is a sure shot case of rejection. On the other extreme end, you have 300 plus, even 320 plus. And this is a clear-cut case of sure shot success. So somewhere, if you can, cross this 300 plus, if you can cross this 300 in sociology, or for that matter, any optional paper, you will be there in the list of top 10 students. You will be there in the list of top 10 or top 20 students. Sociology is an optional for UPSC examination for majority of the candidates. It is one of the most popular optional paper in UPSC civil services examinations. One of the most popular optional. If you look at this 2023 results which were out some time back, in the top 10 ranks, in top 10 All India ranks, 3 candidates optional was sociology. For example, All India rank 2, All India rank 8, All India rank 10. These 3 successful students have sociology as their optional paper. So out of 10, 3 students were from sociology optional. So therefore we say that it is a very popular optional in UPSC examination. Why students are selecting the sociology as optional, as a popular optional? Any student who wanted to select an optional, they have to take up a test for themselves. I normally suggest this test. They should take up a test. That test is called as suitability test. Whether an optional is suitable for me or not, I will be able to make a clear-cut decision if I take up the suitability test. Is it suitable for me? Because blindfoldedly, I cannot select an optional just because many are selecting. I told this is one of the most popular optional. Just because it is one of the most popular optional, I will close my eyes and I will select this as my optional. This is a very wrong thing if you decide in this way. Okay. So is it suitable for me? How will I know that something is suitable for me? I will have to undergo a test called a suitability test. In the suitability test, I have certain criterion. The first criterion is compatibility. Compatibility, right? The second criterion is familiarity. And the third criterion is scorability. These are the three dimensions of the suitability test: compatibility, familiarity, and scorability. Compatibility. See, I will select an optional not purely because of my interest. There is normally this thing which will be advised to the students, that you select your optional based on interest. My genuine question is, do we have the luxury to choose to study what is interesting for us? Especially when you have come to the civil services examination, we will be forced to study sometimes what is not interesting for us. And very plainly speaking, we will be forced to read something which is boring for us. Because interest is one thing, importance is another thing. All things which are interesting may not be important, and all things which are important may not be interesting. Interesting things are not important, important things are sometimes not interesting. So here, UPSC preparation should be based mostly on the importance, not based on the interest per se. Because when you are going for a graduation, after your +2 examination, when you wanted to go for a graduation, there, based on your interest, you can select a course. For example, commerce is very interesting for me, so I'll take up BCom. Medicine is very interesting for me, so I'll take up medicine. A particular branch of engineering is interesting for me, so I'll take up that particular branch. But when you come to competitive examination, I cannot use this single criteria called as interest. Of course, you should not hate a subject. If you hate a subject, you should not take that subject as your optional. But if you are not hating a subject, if that subject is important for this examination, then you can very well choose that subject as your optional. You need not have a very big interest over the subject. You should not hate the subject. So not hating the subject itself is a qualification for selecting that subject. For example, I hate studying history in my school days. I will definitely not select history as my optional for UPSC because I have hated history. For example, if I hated geography, I will not select this in my UPSC as my optional. So something which you are hating, you don't select. But if there is no hate element, neither you love the subject nor you hate the subject, but that subject is very important for this examination, take that subject as your optional subject. The subject is important. The importance of the subject can be seen in the light of compatibility of the subject. Compatibility. I will come to the first thing called as compatibility. So compatibility here I mean, if I study sociology, Will I be able to write? Will I be able to have some advantage in my general studies paper? Will I be able to have advantage in the essay paper? If what I read in sociology is can be easily used in GS and essay, sociology is important because I can hit many mangoes with one single stone. I'll tell you how you can do that. Sociology, where and all comes in your general studies paper. It comes in paper 1. You know, there is a topic called as society. We are aware of this, that GS paper 1 has 3 important subjects. One is history, another is geography, and the third is what? Society. History, geography, society. So society will form 1/3 of your 250 marks. 1/3 of your 250 marks will come from society topics. Roughly, how much? 80 marks. Roughly 80 marks you can attempt easily because of sociology. Because what is sociology? I told sociology, study of society. Society is there where? In GS paper 1. Okay. So society around 80 marks you can easily write using your sociology paper, optional paper. You don't require a very specialized explicit preparation for your society topic. Now one student was asking this question to me, sir, this will be the case of other optionals. For example, a teacher teaching geography will tell that geography comes in GS paper 1. So take geography as your optional. History teacher will tell history comes in GS paper 1. So take history as your optional. This is there for all optionals, no? For example, public administration people claim GS paper 2. Okay, political science people will claim what? GS paper 2. Then economy people will claim GS paper 3. Philosophy people will claim GS paper 4. So this is there for all optionals. No, what is the advantage you have because of this subject called sociology? I tell to this student that, my dear, anyhow, when you read for your prelims, you will read your history, you will read your geography. So default you have to read immaterial of what optional you have selected. Default you have to read for history and geography when you study prelims. Now in a competitive examination, you tell that what makes you successful. You read what others are reading, or you read what others are reading, plus you also read what others are not reading. So success is based on you read what others are not reading. I am asking this question, whether anyone will read specially for society topics. Frankly speaking, not many will read very explicitly for society related topics, for one simple reason, that there is no material available which can be used by you to hit the question asked from society topic in paper 1. No single material is available with the help of which you can attack the dynamic questions which are coming from society topics of paper 1 GS. So since there is paucity of material and students do not have so much of understanding about how these questions are constructed in society topic, they simply manage the topic without having a detailed in-depth study of that topic. So what others are not doing, you are doing, because sociology gives you that depth understanding of each and every topic in society which comes in GS paper 1. In fact, the questions of GS paper 1 society is very in-depth, that it can be attacked only, it can be written with ease only by students of sociology. I will claim this. Go and see the previous year question papers of society topic. A non-sociology student will find it really, really hard to crack the questions coming from society topic. So this is a unique selling point of sociology, that other subjects in GS paper 1 already we will study anyhow, and the left out by others which you have a natural advantages society topic because of your sociology. So this is the catch which you have to have when it comes to GS paper 1. Similarly, when you go to GS paper 2, the topic of social justice connected questions are asked. Sociology is the study of social justice actually. The topic of society study came, or the interest in society study came, because of injustice present in the society. So old society had so much of injustice, and therefore a solution for injustice was sought in the form of new society, and that study of new society is sociology. So social justice is a very, very important subject matter of sociology. Questions which are having social justice as a theme is asked mostly in GS paper 2, where sociology students will be having fair enough understanding of this concept, which will be an advantage. Now come to GS paper 3. Sociology here also comes to your rescue, because sociology questions are asked in GS paper 3. Extremism, development, social economics. I remember once in UPSC question paper, they have asked this question: capitalism is short-sighted. How can you use capitalism for inclusive growth? Sociology students will study about the details of capitalism in and out, and they know how capitalism is exclusive in character. So this question, to understand itself, requires significant sociology knowledge. We find that many such questions are coming in GS paper 3 also, which is demanding social dimension of the economic topic, social dimension of the topics like left-wing extremism, etc., etc. Now, GS paper 3 I have told. GS paper 4 is ethics. You know something, ethics is a branch of philosophy, but philosophy is the mother of sociology. So ethics is the branch of philosophy, so as sociology is also the child of philosophy. Many sociologists are philosophers. So we will be studying some sociologists like Emile Durkheim, like Karl Marx, like Max Weber, who will be used very liberally in ethics paper. In one of the ethics paper question in the past, they have asked like this. They have asked this Max Weber's concept of rational intelligence and administration. Max Weber, students of sociology will study. Max Weber writes about bureaucracy. He says bureaucracy is based on rationality because rationality gives you intelligence. He simply says this. So bureaucracy should be rationally intelligent organization, which means that he is not giving any importance to emotional intelligence. Today we speak about emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence concept came as a criticism against rational intelligence. Rational intelligence was spoken by Max Weber. Some of you may not be able to understand about this thing. I will take up in detail in the classes. But to tell you that technically Max Weber belongs to sociology unit number 4 paper 1, who was asked in ethics paper. They have asked Max Weber. I think Max Weber would be studied by political science students, public administration students, other than sociology students, and sociology students will study in and out of this Max Weber. So GS paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, paper 4, you have so much of social aspects which comes in the form of questions, and therefore the social understanding, societal understanding becomes pivotal, becomes fundamental for attacking many of the questions which come from general studies paper. Come to the essay. 2 essays you have to write. I will give a list of essay topics which came from sociology. Right from 2000 I have given, from the year 2000 till 2023, I have given to the students some 23 years. Sociology topics are coming in essay paper. A student of sociology can easily attempt both the essay questions using sociology. 2 years back, last to last year and all, out of 8 questions, 5 questions came from sociology. So on an average, 50% of the essay questions, that is 4 out of 8 questions, will come from typical sociology, and this will be a natural choice for many of the students to select the sociology topic in essay. So 250 marks essay, you will get the feed from sociology, and close to 30 to 40% of your GS, which means around 300 to 350 marks, sometimes even 400 marks out of 1000, can be fed by sociology. So this is an extra advantage by selecting sociology as your optional. Apart from sociology, which will feed you for 500 marks in your optional paper, you also have significant sociological feed in GS as well as essay. So if I select an optional, that optional should not only be useful for that optional, it should be useful for GS, it should be useful for essay. And here where I say that this is compatibility of sociology with GS and optional, not to speak about interview. Interview, you have so many questions from sociology because it is very, very natural for the board to lift questions from sociology students on sociology. The simple logic is this: to ask a sociology question, you need not be a sociologist at all. Even my own personal experience, that in one of my interviews, the first question which was asked by the chairperson of the board was, being a student of sociology, tell what is the impact of urbanization on family structure. So this was very easy beginning for me, because this is a topic which I have read so many times. I have written that in the main examination as well. So it was a very good beginning for me when the question started with sociology optional. So most of the questions, or you can expect for most of the students having sociology optional, questions were asked from sociological perspective. Okay, so that is a natural advantage you have. So in main examination as well as interview, you have significant contribution coming from sociology. So this is why I say sociology is passing this test of compatibility. Now come to the second test. The second test is what? Familiarity test. See, I tell you that what is familiar, that is easy. Yes or no? If I am familiar with it is easy for me to talk to my friend. Why? Because my friend is familiar. It is easy to talk to my parents because my parents are very familiar. So familiarity is equal to easy. What is sociology? Sociology is study about society. Society means what? You and me. So we are studying about us. We are very familiar to us or not. Nobody can say that they don't understand them. I can't say that I can't understand me. I can't say that I can understand my family. So sociology is study of you and me. Since I understand you and me, I can understand sociology. Familiarity. Whatever topics you see in the syllabus of sociology, you see family, you are familiar with the concept of family. Marriage, you are familiar. Religion, you are familiar. Political system, you are familiar. Economic system, you are familiar. Education, you are familiar. Political system, you are familiar. Many topics in sociology syllabus are very familiar to us. So I will be able to study with ease a topic which is very familiar to me. Frankly speaking, when I wanted to select the sociology as my optional, I was browsing through the syllabus of many optionals. which were called as popular optionals. Out of this, I was being told to see the sociology optional. I saw family. This I have heard about. No. Marriage, I have heard about that. Religion, I have heard about that. Political system, I have heard about that. Economy, heard about that. And therefore, I thought that this is not rocket science. I'm very familiar with these topics, and therefore I selected. So familiarity. Read the syllabus. You'll find many terms are familiar to you. You are used to these terms. You know about these institutions, and therefore sociology is studying what you are already familiar with. So what is sociology? Familiarizing with what you are already familiar with is what is sociology. Familiarizing with what you are already familiar with is what is sociology. So you are already familiar with sociology. What I am going to do is I am making you more familiar with what you are already familiar with. That's all. Simple, very small syllabus, and that to known topics. Certain dimensions I will teach you from sociological point of view, from theoretical point of view. That's all. Otherwise, this is very easy thing. Everybody knows society. Those who know society, they know sociology. So you know sociology already. Your parents know sociology already. Your grandparents know sociology already. So what is that thing I am going to do to you? I am just doing that thing. What? UPSC sociology is what I am going to teach to you. That's all. Already you are knowing society. So you know little bit of sociology. UPSC sociology only I am going to teach to you. Understood? So this is familiarity. No rocket science. Easy. That's all. And the third dimension, the third criteria of suitability test is what? Ultimately, this is what is very, very important. Am I able to score? Am I able to get that score which will be taking me to Labasna? Sociology is going to be your passport to Labasna. It is going to be a visa for NPA, National Police Academy. That is why many with this subject they have entered this Labasna. Many of our students, if not sociology, they would not be in civil services at all. GS did not help that much for them. Interview also did not help that much for them. But this subject gave them what they wanted in civil services. I can single out many of my students. Remove the sociology, they would be still aspirant today. So, sociology will push you up. Ensure that GS is not pulling you down. Meaning, 450 you get in GS out of 1000. Somehow you manage to get 450. 300 you get in sociology. 140, 150 you get in essay. 180 doable score in interview. You are there. Seat is reserved for you, booked for you. Where? Labasna. Okay. So, scorability. Many students have scored. Many students have scored, including this recent result. Many students have scored, including our own students who have crossed even 300. Shaurabh Sharma IAS is going to get 306. Easy. People have got before you. Scorability is a product of a very comprehensive syllabus, comprehensive material, predictability of the questions, and accessibility. Accessibility to mentors. Comprehensive syllabus, only 10 units in paper 1 and some 3 sections in paper 2. Many of the paper 1 topics are reflected in paper 2. Family, same topics in paper 1, applicable to Indian society, same in paper 2. So whatever you read in paper 1, just apply to Indian society, it becomes paper 2. So very comprehensive, and materials, very, very comprehensive. If you have a very comprehensive study material, then the chance of scoring more increases, because if you have a compact and comprehensive study material, you can study it many times. If you can study something frequently, if you can revise something more number of times, it becomes easily stored in the mind of you, and you can easily recall. Yes or no? So the more and more frequent revision if done by you, the more and more easy recall you can do in the examination. If you can do that easy recall, you will write more number of points. When you write more number of points, automatically you score more. I will give only 2 books for my students. Paper 1, 1 book, paper 2, 1 book. That itself is more than sufficient. Okay. Apart from this, I'll give the model answers for 108 questions in phase 1 of my test series and 228 questions in phase 2 of my test series. So 336 questions I will be giving to them with model answers. And a student ultimately will have to just read this 300 plus model answers thoroughly, so that many questions will come just like that from these 336 questions. Because ultimately you are going to write only 38 questions. 19 in paper 1, 19 in paper 2. If you can practice thoroughly 336 questions, you can easily write 38 questions. So again and again, same thing, if you revise, you will get that properly encoded in your mind, that with ease you can recall in the examination condition. In UPSC examination, people who have written the examination know that, you should be able to write short notes in 5 minutes, a long answer in 15 minutes. 5 minutes you should be able to finish 2 pages, and 15 minutes you should be able to write 3 pages or sometimes 4 pages also. So that much fastly you should write. You cannot, just think and write. Thinking and writing should happen simultaneously. You will not be able to know the difference. You will not be able to make a distinction between whether I thought and wrote, or I wrote and then I thought. It will happen simultaneously. So that speed thinking, speed writing can come only if you can practice. Practice makes you perfect. And practicing 336 questions, which will cover each and every topic in paper 1 and paper 2 comprehensively, why you will not score 300 in sociology? Predictability of questions. We should know clearly what are the focus areas for this year. In the last 15 years, I am giving a hit list of questions. I give you the hit list of questions for last minute revision. And more than 90% of the hit list questions will come in the paper, real paper. We have given that in the channel of us. Just what I have given in the hit list, what came in the real examination, UPSC. So predictability, because focus is more important. No, I can't just the day before examination, I cannot keep all the topics before me and read one by one. No, I have no time at all. So I should know this is my focus area. I focus that thing, it comes. Predictability. We are doing in the last 15 years this predictability. And accessibility to the mentors. I am there with you, for you, always. Just a phone call. I am one phone call away. That's all. You may be in Delhi, you may be in Jammu Kashmir, you may be in Assam or Nagaland. Just a phone call. We are there with you. The purpose of this exercise to make you read sociology is to make you clear this examination, to get the service which you wanted. Your desire is to enter into civil services. Our desire is to make you enter into civil services. So we have this meeting point. The common point of meeting is this, that we wanted you to clear this examination. You wanted you to clear this examination. So this is a social contract between you and me. This is a social contract. We are taking a resolve, we are taking a pledge today that we will be able to get what we wanted. We are ready to burn like a sun. We are ready to burn like a sun. Then only we can shine like a star. We are ready. I am ready, you are ready. Then what else you should wait for? For what else you are waiting for? Right? So, a student who wanted to take an optional will have to put himself or herself into the suitability test. Is it suitable for me? Suitability test means three things you should take into consideration. One is it useful for GS? Is it useful for my essay? Yes, sociology is highly useful for GS and essay. Secondly, is it simple? Is it easy to understand? Yes, familiarity, because the topics which you are studying is about you and me only. If you don't know society, then you don't know you. How can you be without knowing you? In fact, if you see, civil services is what? Services for the society. Without knowing society, can you do service to the society? No. Knowing society, therefore, becomes a prerequisite for everyone who is aspiring for civil services. So this is a common man's subject. This is the subject for all of us because it is about us only. So it is a common man's subject. So familiar. Anything which is familiar will be easy for us. So therefore, it is not a rocket science. The topics and the concepts we are reading in sociology is very familiar to us, very easy to understand. 3. The proof of the pudding lies in eating. How much I am scoring? Sir, I am scoring 300 or not? That is what is the question. If you score 300 plus, I told this is the visa for Labasana. How 300 plus will come? 300 plus will come if you have a comprehensive syllabus which is covered in a comprehensive material. You are given a comprehensive training. Our brain will work only when we train. So the training will be given to you. Your brain will be trained to write qualitative answer which will fetch you 300 plus in sociology. So we are there with you, I told. I am just one phone call away. Accessibility to the mentor. So 3 things, 3 criterion satisfied, and this is my optional. Sociology is my optional. Sociology is my trump card to get into IAS and IPS. Sociology is going to make me an IAS officer, an IPS officer. So you should be very thankful to the subject because the subject gives you what you wanted. The subject is so easy that if you take 1 foot forward, the subject will make 2 feet forward towards you. So we will see you in the next session where I will be teaching you about the basic terminologies in sociology. Thank you.